Morning guys, just do a little update. If you see my last video on what I did on the otter knife, sailor and boat knife, sorry, by Otter, you noticed that I had a few problems with it. One of the problems I had to address is the grind on it. After much deliberation, I decided obviously to slightly change it. Now, what I said in my last video was, what I was going to do, I was going to increase the edge geometry slightly, probably about a couple of mil. But after thinking about it and how narrow the actual blade is, I decided to try and keep it to the original grind as much as possible, because the original grind on it was out on both sides and I wasn't getting the full apex. So now I've resharpened it on my stones and made sure the apex all along the edge is about as 100% as I can get it, because that was the main problem. So it's now hair shaving sharp through the entire edge. I mean, I think this has been increased probably slightly, but only very minor, probably even about half a millimetre, something like that, whereas I originally going to do 2 millimeters. But I decided to go with the original grind as much as I could and try and maintain that 15-degree angle all the way across the blade, which isn't an easy thing to do when you haven't got any machines and you're doing everything by hand, because as you know, I do all my sharpening and reprofiling all by hand using stones. I used to use Japanese water stones, but now since then, which I'm going to do a video about, I've moved on to some more stones, and tested it out, and it is a lot better than it was before. However, obviously it's still going to have its problems, depending on what you want to use it for. The only other problem with it was the handle. The handle was way too short. There's not a great deal I can do about that, unfortunately. You know, there's only so much I can do with a knife. Yes, I can improve the edge geometry, but I can't do nothing about the handle, unfortunately. I can't suddenly grow an extra inch on the handle, you know, so it is what it is. But I've improved it slightly just by touching up that edge and making sure the apex is all the way along. Okay, so now it slices a lot better, and it actually wants to slice now, whereas before more work was involved. Okay, so yeah, really wants to slice now, which it didn't do before. Chest lever is a lot better than it was before, because now it wants to slice more. So now I've sort of tidied that edge out, up rather, it is slicing slightly better. Not there. So yeah, it has improved. Notching, which is another downside to it, actually because of the blade profile. So got the same wood as before. This is probably slightly thinner, but it's the same wood, same hardwood, same oak. So yeah, we'll do a little notch on here because that's what it struggled with before. Choose a spot because I've done so many. So yeah, we'll do it further down, just below that knot here. Do a little bit of a notch. So do press with the back of the blade. Okay, so do a little bit of a stop cut there, and then we'll just carve into it, making a little notch. So before, this really struggled with it, and this seems to be biting a lot better since I've tidied the edge up and made it as level as I could. You hear that crunching sound? That's the sound that you want. Okay, so now we need to get this bit out here, which is another thing it struggled with because of how thin that grind was. Because obviously the bevel is only tiny, but we'll see. So yeah, that's a lot better. It's miles better than it was before. If you watch my last video on this, obviously this is part 2 to that one, it really struggled just to do that. But in a minute, I'm quite happy with it. Yes, it's not going to be your dream bushcraft knife, but it all depends on what you want the knife to do. So we'll do it again, just to be sure. Okay, so again, you want a deeper notch, so you have to go deeper. So straight away, get that out, no problems whatsoever. With this, try and do this one, a little bit of a trickier wood to do it, so I'll do it again with this. So if you really want to test your knives, never use the same wood. I did explain that in my last video as well. Use different woods, and that really does test the steel, the edge, the grind of your knife. Okay, never ever stick to the same wood. Okay, that's really does test your knife, and I suppose your skill in a way. So it's different wood. Okay. Now, the density inside here, compared to that one, is a little bit harder, but it still did it. Okay, so a little bit more pressure needed on the downward angle, obviously, to get that bit of wood out to make your notch, but it's done it, and it did it a lot better than before. Okay, so again, remove that. So different wood, different notch. Okay, so if it was the old grinds, that wouldn't have done it as easy as that. I stuck with the old grind where the edge geometry was all over the place. I wasn't getting the same apex all the way along. So yeah, what other tests have we got? I could probably do some, as you can see, I'm very well prepared in my videos as usual, so I should have got some wood out that I could use. It's going to be hard to do feather sticks on this, but we'll choose that edge here. So feather sticks, let's get the right, because obviously this is a full flat grind with secondary, so you really need to get used to knives like this, especially if you've been using a knife that's not a flat grind for a while like me. But I like to rotate my knives. Why do I rotate knives? Well, it gets me used to different grinds on different knives, different steels. So I do rotate quite a bit for weeks and months on end, just so that I'm all rounded in what I'm doing. So I'm not sticking to the same grind all the time. It could be a Scandi grind, it could be a convex grind, it could be a flat grind, which is what this is. So it doesn't matter. I never stick to the same steel, I never stick to the same geometry. Yes, I do have my favourites, my personal favourites, but it makes sense to use different steels. It makes sense to use different grinds at different angles, and makes sense to learn how to sharpen knives with different steel and different grinds with different angles. because it really does increase your skill set on meteorology and metallurgy, whatever you want to call it, and the way the grinds work, what they are good for, what they're not good for. Okay, so again, obviously for the novice people watching this video, it's entirely up to you what grinds you want to go for. It's whatever works for you. Okay, everybody has, in the end, everybody has their perfect bushcraft knife. Well, not perfect bushcraft knife, I'd say everybody has their own favourite knives with their favourite grind. Whether it be a Scandi grind, which is obviously in the world of bushcraft, the Scandinavian grind, it's good general all-rounder, so everybody tends to drift towards that. Some people like a full convex grind, but it all depends what you want to do. You know, you could use this flat grind if you're happy with it for bushcraft, for notching, for feather sticking, for basic camp tasks, even splitting wood, you know, kindling. But you're very limited to what you can do, especially if you're going to baton, because this knife's only 2.5mm thick. Okay, so it was never going to be a knife that's like, you know, 5mm thick or 6mm thick. Okay, because of the thinness of the blade. It's not because the blade is going to snap. It's got nothing to do with that, because obviously this is C75 carbon steel, and in my experience of C75 carbon steel, it tends to bend, not break. Okay, but what I mean by a thicker blade is better for batoning is because you've got that wedge shape. You've got a lot of stock there that can split the wood as you're batoning through it. Okay, just like a splitting axe does. Okay, a perfect splitting axe is not just like your standard carving axe or what standard bushcraft axe. If you really want a really good splitting axe for, say, if your job is to work in the forest, or a logger, or I can't remember the name for it, and I've got a family member who does it as well, and I can't remember it for the life of me because of my memory what it's called. Lumberjack, that's it. A lumberjack. They use really heavy splitting mauls. That's like a wedge, really thick wedge, which is absolutely perfect for splitting wood. And it's the same with knives. Okay, so you want a really thick knife stock to split wood successfully, but for a little bit of kindling, maybe this size, just thicker than your thumb, then yes, this would do it. It's strong enough to do it. But anything thicker than that, then no, don't expect miracles. But you can do it. So yeah, it all depends what you want to use the knife for. For food prep, this is absolutely perfect. For skinning, yes, you can skin with this, absolutely perfect, because of that like kind of Kephart design on the tip. Okay, so for gutting fish, yes, you can do that again because of the thinness of the blade and how sharp it is. This is now sharp as a razor now. I've improved the geometry of it slightly. And done the apex, so yeah, it's perfect now. But would it be my perfect bushcraft knife? No. I'd have no problems with taking a knife like this out with me in the field, and obviously I have done, and I will continue to take it out of the woods with me for a day or so, because of the traditionalist that I am. I'm trying to go with traditional knives and traditional bushcraft methods and different style of knives like Kephart designs and old butcher's knife, etc. But if you was to go out bushcrafting or camping for, let's say, a week or so, then I would probably take this knife, but I would take a more heavy duty knife obviously to go with it. So this wouldn't be a one knife option. This is just one of many options that's out there available if you like a traditional knife, and will do most of the carving tasks, like feather sticking, making tent pegs, notching and things like that. This will do it all for you. Okay, but for the heavier tasks, then no, this wouldn't do it. No, because again, because of the thickness of the blade, and not only because of the thickness of the blade, but the handle as well. As I explained in my last video, the handle is just too small. I've got medium-sized hands, and my hands just wraps round the handle completely. So if you wear gloves a lot in the outdoors, or you've got larger hands than what I've got, then again, like I stated in my last video, I don't like to repeat myself, but you will really struggle with this knife. You will not get on with it at all, but you will get used to it, I suppose. So yeah, that's probably all I've got to say about this. Yeah, I'm not going to do any heavy chopping videos or videos like that, because this knife, we all know, and I will know, that this knife will not be able to take it. It'll be absolutely useless and absolutely no point at all chopping with this knife. Okay, at all. Because of the grind, because of how thin it is, because of how lightweight it is, because of the shortness of the handle. No. You definitely won't be able to chop with this knife. You can try, but you'll be there forever. Again, batoning, it depends what you're going to baton through. This kind of wood, yeah, it's fine. This kind of thickness, anything thicker than that, then, especially if it's got knots, then you will struggle. But again, it's not what it's designed for. Traditional style knife, sailor and boat knife for gutting fish, descaling, skinning, cutting rigs on boats and things like that. This is what this knife is designed for. And if you want to use it for bushcraft, you can, but you'd have to modify that grind slightly, bring it up slightly, make sure the apex is 100%, and you got yourself a nice traditional bushcraft knife. Yeah, the steel's fantastic. Like I said, I've used C75 carbon steel before. It's really good. If you're using a knife like this for simply just for food prep, which again this knife will excel at, they do a stainless steel version of this knife, exactly the same but stainless steel. But again, just look at the geometry, make sure that apex is absolutely on par all the way along, which this knife wasn't when I first got it out of the box, which now is. So yeah, big improvement over my last video because of what I did to it. I want to carry on there because for years ago, I used this knife. Now, there's mixed reviews out there on YouTube. Some love it, some hate it. If you've got one, then great. This is the JP Peltonen knife of Finland. And again, I was looking for a knife, so I went in my knife drawer and found this. Bought this out again because I've not used it a while, so I thought I might bring it out today. And I really forgot how absolutely amazing this knife is. And I really enjoyed using it. I did a review on this maybe 2-3 years ago, but it wasn't a video review on it, so I probably will do a video review of this very soon. But I'll just go through the couple of the specs of it. So the sheath is just, you know, when I first bought this knife, I've never before seen a sheath like it, and I don't think I ever will. Okay, so times have changed now. You can get different sheaths for this particular knife now. You can get Kydex sheaths, different colours. You can get in black, I believe you can get in coyote brown, but don't quote me on that. That could be the other one I'm getting mixed up with. And you can get like composite sheaths as well, in different colours like camo and olive green and things. I think they've just bought a new colour out as well, I'm not too sure. So yeah, this one has got like a roller inside. Can you see that? Just there. And I've never seen that ever in a knife before. You know, and I've been using knives for over 20 years, and I've never seen one such as this before. So what happens is, you got this bit here. So when it's on your side or upside down, because this is made for the Finnish Armed Forces. So if it's on you, put your thumb there, and it helps to get your thumb. This is made out of rubber, like reinforced rubber with 2 rivets. So press down on there, and that releases the knife. Now look what happens to this roller. Okay, if you just see it. That's really hard to see because I haven't got the best camera in the world. But when I took the knife out, look at this bit here. Okay, you see that it rotates, and that helps the knife to come out. How genius is that? Why is nobody ever come up with that idea? That's amazing. And it's silent as well. Okay, so it makes no sound. So if you're trying to stalking or sneaking up in your enemy, as they probably would do in the Finnish forces, you can just get that out. No, absolutely no sound whatsoever, because this roller there helps it to come out, helps it to go back in again, and it rolls just past the guard there, so the roller actually holds it in. What a clever idea, absolutely amazing. The sheath is absolutely top notch. You've got a hole there to put a bit of molly in, just in case you wanted it, the soldier or whatever wanted it up there, which is what most military people around the world do. Or you can, you've got this belt loop here, which is got Velcro around it, so you can very, very easily put it on your belt. Okay, and very, very easy to get off as well. Very, very good idea. If you don't want that, you can take these nylon off and probably put something else like a dangler or something, because you've got a metal loop there. Okay, so you can take this off if you don't like it. Like I say, over the years since I last reviewed this knife, there has been upgrades to the sheath, Kydex sheath, composite sheath in different colours, and the knife as well, which I'll go into now. Okay, so this is the knife. This is the larger version. I think it's 6-inch blade, I think. So this is the larger one of the two. They do a smaller one, which is 5-inch. But this is the one I originally went with. As you can see, it has seen a fair bit of use. It's really hard to tell on camera. Okay, so obviously you got this coating on it. See some scratches on there. There's some coating that's been removed on both sides there, where I've been using it in sharpening, etc. And I've got to say, I'm not too sure what coating they've put on this, but it is pretty good. Again, I'd have to read the specs on it because I'm not too sure what this coating is. But I've used this knife for all sorts, and the coating is really, really hard wearing. It's not like, it's really smooth, it's not grainy, so it's not a powder coat. So again, I'd probably have to have a look when I properly review it and show you its capabilities. But the coating on it is amazing. It takes forever for it to get removed. And a few years ago I had the smaller version of this knife, which I have since sold or traded, which I do a lot with my knives, and getting that coat off, the smaller one, was really, really difficult. I tried everything. I tried sanding it, I tried using like paint remover, and it was still on the blade. Not all of it, most of it would come off, but you know, most of it was still on. But that tells you how hard this coating is. So again, I'm not too sure what to call it, but it's really, really, really good. Now since then they've do a different coating, which again I'll put it in my review when I start reviewing this properly. It's the coating's like a ceramic based coatings. It's Cerakote or something like that. I don't know. Probably going to laugh at me now because I can't pronounce it, but it's something like that. It begins with C, which is supposed to be really, really good coating. But we'll see. Don't know why, but I think this coating, if you want a blade that's coating, I think this is ideal, because it takes ages to wear away. But anyway, so you got about 6-inch blade there. It is full tang, but it's full tang with a rubber overmold. Really tough, grippy rubber. Really tough rubber. And it's made from 80CRV2, which is a really good carbon steel. Not top of the range steel, but it is a really tough steel. It keeps its edge and maintains its edge for quite a long time. So yeah, so I'm going to start using this, and I'm going to review it properly. So I'm not going to do a review on it in this video, although I really want to, but I don't want to keep my videos going on for too long. It's probably going to go on to about an hour if I carry on. So this is going to be, a full review on this is going to be in the pipeline, but it's well worth it. I do like it quite a lot, and look out for the review on this one. So this is the JP Peltonen Sisipuko knife of Finland. So check it out, and I'm gonna wrap that up. That's probably about it, guys. So it was mainly about the otter knife, what I've done to it, and why I did what I did. So hope you've had a nice New Year and Christmas, and there will be some more videos up and coming. And I will be doing a lot more videos where I'm actually going outdoors this time. Doing some bushcraft related tasks, which I've not done for many months now, because I've been stuck here, there and everywhere at the silly season, especially at the allotment. There's a lot of things that need to be done at the allotment, so I've not really had a chance to get out. So I do apologise to my viewers, anybody who follows my channel, but I do try and mix my channel up a bit, mainly to keep people interested. But anyway, so I've got upcoming videos. I've got videos on which I'm going to split into different modules and different tiers. So there will be videos coming in the pipeline, which I've all written down on what knives, the very basics of bushcraft, what knives are out there that I personally recommend, that I've used if you're on a limited budget, and how to maintain your knife, i.e. how to sharpen your knife, how to maintain it at home, and also how to maintain your knife and sharpen in the field as well. What products I recommend for sharpening in the field, what products I used at home to sharpen my knives and reprofile my knives. Okay, so the first module is going to be my favourite topic, is the knives. Okay, so that's going to be the first module, the first tier, so to speak, and many more after that. Okay, so again, this channel is purely for the basic bushcrafters and wild campers, where they've never done it before, they have no idea what knife to buy, how to sharpen, etc. This is the way I do things, and I like to keep things very simple as possible, due to the few problems that I have of remembering things and remembering how to do things. So a lot of say videos in these series are going to be purely basic videos for well, about as basic as you're going to get. You know, you don't have to, the world of bushcrafting, wild camping and things like that, it is not complicated. So you don't need complicated equipment, you don't need mega expensive knives, although you'll probably end up buying a custom knife eventually, which everybody does, including myself. But when you're first starting out, you have no idea what you're doing, no idea what tools to buy, then obviously this channel will be for you. So the only thing I've done in this video, my channel so far, is basically been mostly about reviews on knives and things, what knives I recommend. So, but now I'm going to go into the bushcraft side of it, and then start from the very basics of obviously knives, what knives to buy, what I recommend, what budget you kind of got. We'll discuss budgets, and things like that. So come up to half an hour now, so I'll be in rabbit hole for half an hour as I usually do. So I'm going to wrap that up now, and look out for more videos, guys. The next video I'm going to do is going to be starting on the knives that I recommend. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and try and get out as much as you can. Okay, so we've just passed the silly season now, so it's time to start getting out. If you're working on your day off, try and go for a walk in the woods or something like that to clear your head, to get to you know, to generally just to de-stress. You know, it's really important for your mental health, really important for your mental health being good for your head, good for your family as well if you've got a family. So yeah, we'll wrap that up, guys, and I'll catch you in a bit. Bye bye for now.